Today was shaping up to be a glorious day for your boy. After multiple double upload days, which I will happily bring you guys with a huge smile on my face, it seemed like news was going to be a little bit slow. Following the Deshaun Watson update I gave you guys earlier today, and before the Jerry Jones video I actually had scheduled for you guys today, I was thinking that okay, until Friday where we find out what's going on with Deshaun Watson, there's probably not going to be any other news today. After all, Russell Wilson's been traded, Carson Wentz has been traded. We're not going to have our third straight day in a row where a player gets traded, right? Well, for sure not a superstar player, right? Wrong! Because we got some breaking news. The AFC West is going bananas. This is the third day in a row where a Pro Bowler has been traded. So before we get to the content, do me a favor and drop a like on this video to support my grind. If you subscribe and turn on our notifications on this channel, whether you're an old subscriber or a new subscriber, you'll enter for a chance to win $500. We also do shorter versions of this news on my TikTok page. And now that we got all that out of the way, break! Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? I want to take this brief moment to shout out each and every one of my followers on Instagram and Twitter for tagging me in this news. I was literally in a nail salon getting my nails done, and I was being yelled at by my nail lady as a result of how much my phone was going off and how I couldn't help but check the notifications. 4 years ago, the Las Vegas Raiders completely sent shockwaves throughout the NFL when they decided to trade Khalil Mack to the Chicago Bears. Khalil Mack would get traded alongside a second-round pick, which was Cole Kmet, for the 24th overall pick in the 2019 NFL draft, which would be Josh Jacobs, and a 2020 first-round pick, which would become Damon Arnett, as well as a 2019 sixth-round pick and a 2020 third-round pick, which would become Bryan Edwards. After that, Khalil Mack would sign a 6-year extension with the Chicago Bears worth $141 million and $90 million guaranteed, becoming the highest paid defensive player in NFL history at the time. As a result, for that 1 year, the Chicago Bears were actually pretty freaking good, I might add. They were a doink kick away from actually making some noise in the NFC playoffs. And to this day, everyone will say that the Chicago Bears won the Khalil Mack trade. In his first season with the Chicago Bears, he was able to put up 12.5 sacks, which was consistent with his previous year's sack totals. But afterwards, there was a little bit of a decline. The year after, there was 8.5 sacks, and in 2020, there was 9 sacks. And this past year, he only played 7 games and eventually was sidelined with a foot injury, but he still notched 6 sacks. So a lot of people say Khalil Mack isn't nearly as effective as he once was. So I took to Pro Football Focus because that's kind of not the only thing I use to determine my decision on how good a player is. Rather, I like using it in conjunction with basic stats and, of course, my own film analysis to form my conclusion about him as a player. And in 2021, he did take a bit of a step back. But in 2020, there's a solid argument that could be made that he was within the top 3 at the very least of edge rushers in the NFL. He was a second-team All-Pro in 2020 as well, and that was his last full season playing with the Chicago Bears. And with everything that's been going on in the AFC West in general and how strong the AFC West has been getting, I can understand why this trade was just made. A few days ago, the Denver Broncos traded for Russell Wilson. They went from a team that was a below average team in my opinion to a team that could easily contend to win the AFC West. Now, note that I said contend because they still have to go up against the Kansas City Chiefs, which have made the AFC Championship every single year that Patrick Mahomes has been under center, which is by no means an easy feat. And then you have the Las Vegas Raiders, who went 10-7 this past year, despite having an interim head coach, and Damon Arnett deciding to post videos of himself threatening people with weapons onto social media, and Henry Ruggs deciding to get drunk at Top Golf, and then getting arrested for driving under the influence, and of course, killing someone in the process. And the fact that the Raiders were still able to be this successful with everything that's been going on for them is something that we shouldn't take lightly. So as a result, the Los Angeles Chargers probably felt some pressure. Don't get me wrong, this team is making moves. They just signed Mike Williams to a 3-year, $60 million contract, which, to be honest, is a remarkable rate for that young wide receiver, and I expect him to be one of the best wide receivers in the league at some point or another. But now you have to take a look at the defensive side of the ball. I mean, you do not want Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson and Derek Carr to get comfortable in that pocket. So that's why the Los Angeles Chargers decided to melt the internet today, because according to Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport, the Chicago Bears are trading Khalil Mack to the Los Angeles Chargers in return for a 2022 second round pick and a 2023 sixth round pick, which is causing quite a stir in the NFL community. I wanted to be fair to the Chicago Bears because I really don't see the point of this trade. I'm just going to start out by saying this. But if I'm being fair, there's only been 2 times where a first round pick was given in return for an edge rusher since 1994. The first time was when the Las Vegas Raiders traded Khalil Mack to the Chicago Bears, and the second time was when the Seattle Seahawks traded Frank Clark to the Kansas City Chiefs. So in regards to that return, I guess you could rationalize it a little bit, considering how Khalil Mack is going on to his age 30 season. And when you compare that to what Von Miller was acquired for in the middle of the season, and bear in mind, Von Miller is 2 years older than Khalil Mack, then I guess you could make some sense out of it. When you have a player like Khalil Mack on your edge, especially when Aaron Rodgers is returning to the division, you want to get as much help as you can get. It's not like they're getting significant salary cap savings as a result of this. Yes, I guess they're liberated from the other 3 years of his contract, but this year they're stuck paying $24 million in dead money for his contract. So don't think that since the Bears were able to trade Khalil Mack doesn't necessarily mean that they have the ability to go out and get a big name free agent apart from what they already have. They still have $23 million in cap space this year, so I'm assuming this is a move that they made that was more in the long-term interest of the team. It makes a lot of sense, man. Typically, I've said this in a lot of my videos, whenever there's a brand new front office and a brand new regime, which if you take a look at the Chicago Bears, they replaced Ryan Pace with Ryan Poles, and they replaced Matt Nagy with Matt Eberflus, which is by far my favorite name to say in the entire NFL. Like literally when he got hired, I just started running around my house saying Eberflus, Eberflus, Eberflus. But I digress. It makes a lot of sense that they want to start from scratch. So I think this is the Chicago Bears doing whatever they can to make sure that they have as much cap space as possible for the future. Khalil Mack is a player that you want to acquire if you are contending in the now, and the Los Angeles Chargers are trying to contend in the now. They have one of the most complete teams in the entire NFL. They have a great rushing attack. They have a remarkable quarterback. They have an analytics-based Mini McVay as a head coach that is a defensive mastermind that now actually has some weapons to play with on that defense. I mean, Derwin James, Joey Bosa, and Khalil Mack. You can make the argument that Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa easily make the best pass rush in the entire NFL. I feel like this was absolutely necessary for the Los Angeles Chargers to do, especially when you consider the fact that there's additional pressure to go all in now that Justin Herbert is on a rookie scale contract, so they can invest that money in other areas of their team to be as competitive as possible. Once Justin Herbert is up for a contract extension, I'm personally expecting him to get anywhere within the 40 millions, maybe just underneath, but I could imagine by the time he's up for a contract, he could get anywhere in the mid 40 millions, and this is just my own speculation. I'm not talking about whether he deserves it or not, I just think this is what's going to happen. So as a result of it, you want to invest as much as you can in this team now that you have this window of opportunity where Justin Herbert is clearly a remarkable quarterback, but you don't have to pay him that much money because he's still on a rookie scale contract. I give him an A+ for doing it. It's really hard to grade the Chicago Bears because you're not really taking a big swing here. You at least got a second round pick, which I suppose could help moving forward. I can't give them an F or a D for this move because I understand why they made it. Rather, I'm going to give them a C+ instead. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this trade. If you're a Bears fan, hang in there. I think better days are going to come for you guys soon. If you're a Chargers fan, get absolutely excited because that pass rush is looking beefy. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.